Shall we start now?
Yes, sir.
So, can anyone summarize what we had studied in last class? Can anyone summarize what we have studied last class?
So in the last class, we started the new topic, that is K-nearest neighbor. So KNN is the supervised learning technique which is used to solve the regression and classification. It is non-parametric algorithm, and it is also
So
called the,
why it is called non-parametric?
because sir, it does not make any assumptions of the data.
Assumptions on data. Okay.
Yes. And also it is called lazy learner algorithm, and
Okay.
it is
Why is
used
it called lazy?
because sir,
Lazy learner algorithm,
Yeah.
because it does not learn from training set immediately.
yes,
Okay.
and it is used for the recommendation and the decision making process. Then we discuss about the distance between the 2 points, Euclidean distance, Manhattan distance, and the Monoskowski distance, and then the steps of the KNN through an example.
Okay. Good. Very good. So we'll see today case study on KNN, but before starting case study, I would like to explain what are the cross-validation metrics we used it in classification. Okay. Because last class I have asked about the confusion matrix and no one has responded it. So I thought to have some discussion on cross-validation metric, and then we'll move into our case study.
Yes,
Will
sir.
it be fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Can you see slides?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there are some validation metrics for classification. Some of those are accuracy, null accuracy, precision, recall, and F1 score. Okay, these are some of cross-validation metric we used to do it in classification. Can anyone tell what we use it for regression? Can anyone tell us what we have used it in regression? Already at least one we have used it in regression.
Mean square error.
What is it?
For model verification, mean square error.
I cannot hear you. It was root mean square error, correct?
Yes.
Every time whenever we used to build a model, we used to calculate one metric, something called root mean square error, RMSE, correct? So for continuous variable, we can use root mean square, we can use absolute error, or we can also use something called Q square, which we have not till now I have not told you how to do it, but whenever we have regression, we'll have something called Q square. We'll also see how to compute Q square, and that is important metric actually. Okay. So for classification, we are going to see some of this cross-validation metric. One is accuracy, another is null accuracy, precision, recall, and F1 score. So accuracy is the simplest one. This is the most used metric in context of classification. It is just the mean of correct prediction. So let's say we have 100 observation, 50 times we have made correct prediction, 50% time. So our accuracy will be 0.5. Okay, if you had made 90% time correct prediction, your accuracy will be 0.9. Another is null accuracy. It is defined as accuracy obtained when always predicting most frequent class. Okay, so let's say you are doing some binary classification, and let's say you have observation 100 observation. Okay, so 100 observation, let's say 60 observation belong to class A, 40 observation belong to class B. Okay, but what we are doing it for every time, since for class A we have 60 observation, means most frequently class always we predict class A. Okay, so 60 times our prediction will be correct actually. So this you can use for baselining your prediction, baselining your performance. So if any model you are developing, so that has to perform better than null accuracy actually. So what we have done in case of regression, when we were discussing our random forest algorithm, do you remember how we have baselining our performance?
We calculated the mean.
So every time we used to predict through mean actually. Okay, so here what, so you give me any observation, I will say what is the mean actually. So every time I used to just tell what is the mean of that mean of y target variables, and every time I use that number to predict with whether with any okay, so every time we used to use mean only to predict our to make prediction. Here we are using more frequent class to make prediction. So example, class A has 60 and class B has 40. So whatever associated with class A, we always, you give me any feature, I will say it is class A. So my accuracy will at least will be 60%. So this we can use to baseline our performance. So any model you are going to develop, that has to do better than that null accuracy. Understood, or shall I explain again?
Understood, sir. Understood, sir.
This is very easy actually. Accuracy is how much correct prediction you have made divided by total number of observation. Null accuracy is always predict more frequent class, and you can use to baseline your performance. So another three things are precision, recall, and F1 score. Other three metric are precision, recall, and F1 score. Okay, but to understand all this, we have to first understand what is confusion matrix. The moment you construct this confusion matrix from given data set, you can get all these three metrics: precision, recall, and F1 score. So how this confusion matrix is defined as, it is the matrix of n cross n used for evaluating the performance of classification model, where n is the number of target class. So for, let's say you have binary classification, so what will be the dimension of your confusion matrix? Based on definition, what you can say?
Two is to two.
So it will be 2 cross 2, correct?
Yes, sir.
So binary means you have two class A and class B. So confusion matrix will be 2 cross 2 matrix. So this matrix compare the actual target values with those predicted by the machine learning model. Okay. So column represent the actual values and row represent the predicted values. So diagonal, what this diagonal is, what this diagonal tell true positive and true negative is about the correct prediction actually. In layman term, you just say that this is the correct prediction, and off diagonal say that this is incorrect or misclassification. False negative and false positive is nothing but the misclassification. But we will understand terminology in more detail actually. So how this true positive is said that the actual values was positive and the model also predicted positive values. Okay. So you are asking actually, let's say you are classifying dog versus cat. Okay. So let's say you are interested to find the dog. So you're, let's say, is it dog or cat? You are asking this question based on some feature of dog and cat. You have collected some feature of dog and cat, and then you are trying to find out whether for new data whether it is cat or dog. So you first develop a model and based on the feature, and now you are saying that based on the feature, new feature, you classify whether it is dog or cat. Okay. So true positive, the actual values was positive and the model also predicted positive values. So let's say if it is dog, you have predicted dog only. True negative means the actual value was negative and model predicted negative values, means it is cat and model also predicted cat. Have you understood it? We'll take another example. I have another example. We'll see. Are you understanding? Because this is the important metric actually.
Yes,
If
sir.
you understood this, that's all I think. So true positive is actual value was positive and model also predicted positive value. True negative, the actual value was negative and the model also predicted negative values. False positive is the actual values were negative but model predicted a positive value. So it's called a false positive. And false negative is the actual values was positive and model predicted a negative values. If you are not understood, then try to understand from this pregnancy analogy. Okay. So true positive. So question. So true positive means you are pregnant. So this lady is saying you are pregnant. So this is true positive actually, but false positive is this guy cannot be pregnant. You are. So that is false positive. False negative is basically that lady was pregnant, but it says that you are not pregnant. And true negative is you are not pregnant actually. How many of you understood this? Have you understood this? Any
Yes,
question?
No, sir.
I think this is easy only. We'll move. Okay, so just based on our definition actually, I have just taken one example. Okay, so we have a confusion matrix. So true positive is 560 and false positive is 60, false negative is 50 and true negative is 330. Okay, so what will be the accuracy? Can anyone calculate what will be accuracy? And how do we calculate accuracy? So basically what you have to do, take the diagonal. Diagonal is nothing but your correct prediction, and then at the bottom you have to divide it by all sorts of prediction.
Sir,
So all
0.89.
sorts 0.89. It was something 0.96 I think. I don't remember, but you just check once.
Okay.
So what you have to do, 560 plus 330 divided by 560, 330 plus 60 plus 50. Just check, it may be 0.89 only. I don't remember it.
It's 0.89 only, sir.
Okay, very good.
Sir, 0.89.
Okay, very good. So once you have got your confusion matrix, you can define what is precision and what is recall. So precision tells us how many of correctly predicted case actually turned out to be positive. Just give some attention on this wording. What is precision and what is recall? Recall tells us how many of the actual positive case we were able to predict correctly with our model. Just pay some attention on wording. I think then you will able to tell me what is the formula for precision and recall. You just tell me, I will write it here for others. Who will tell? Just see, precision tells us how many of the correctly predicted case actually turn out to be positive.
Sir, true positive by true positive plus false positive.
Okay. And what about recall?
True positive by true positive plus false negative.
So have you understood exactly what does it mean? And what is F score? And what is F score? What is F score? It is harmonic mean of precision and recall. Okay, so can anyone tell us exactly how to write it? Harmonic mean of precision and recall. 12th we used to have this harmonic mean. Okay, so you just find this formula. This is easy actually. Just this is 2 divided by, if I have to write 1 divided by precision, and then plus 1 divided by recall. I just wrote it down like this. Just have you understood actually what is confusion matrix? Once you find your confusion matrix, you can get all these parameters. But important is which problem you will use which matrix actually. There are n number of confusion, n number of cross validation matrix. So which matrix will use in which problem? So that is assignment for you. You have to find it out. Okay. Now we'll move to case study part. So case study is classification of flower. So objective is to build a ML model to help botanists to distinguish the species of iris flower. And this is very famous example. And first time it appears in and this is very famous case study actually, and first time it appeared in, I think, in 1936. Fisher has used this data set. This is very famous data set actually. So idea is to build ML model to help botanists to distinguish species of iris flower, and the feature are sepal length, sepal width, petal length, and petal width. Okay, so there are 4 features. Based on 4 features, you have to identify whether this flower is setosa or this flower is versicolor or virnica. Okay, so this is our task. So if I give you what is the flower sepal length, what is flower sepal width, what is flower petal length, what is flower petal width, you have to give me whether this flower is setosa or versicolor or virnica. Understood problem? Have you understood?
Yes,
Any
sir.
doubt?
Oh.
So same way, we will do case study same way. I have already given you file. Can you try to run this file? Just check whether it is running on your machine or not.
Yes, sir. Running.
Run this and then I will explain step by step. Are you able to run that code?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
it is running, correct? It is simple actually. That's why I have told you whenever you write code, make it general. If I, let's say for all this path, if I do hard coding, you may not able to run it, and then you have to modify it a little bit to make it run. That's why I ask you to make it as general as you can, so that if you can send this or distribute it to your colleague, friend, they can able to run this. So for line number 7 is just you are importing your operating system. Line number 8 to 11, what we are doing? Sorry, import OS is, we are importing module called OS, which will interface with Python to your all folder and directories. Okay, so can anyone tell me what line 8 to line 12, line number 8 to line number 11 is doing? What we are doing here? Same thing we have seen it in last example also, when we are doing random forest. So what we are doing here?
Sir, we are giving path to the data and API and the result.
So basically we have different directory here. We are just getting the path of all directories, so that if we have result in future, we will save result in result file, and API path, whatever python.py path we have, we will all save it in API path. So you can see now API path has one .py file which is called KNN case study. Okay, and data path is where we kept our data. So this is the way actually you have to you have to make your project. All different file will go to different places. Let's say if you have some static file, then you have to make some statics folder, and all static file you can keep on that. So different folder, you just use it for different purposes, so it will be good actually. And line number 13 to 19, who will explain what is use of pandas? What is use of panda?
For visualization.
No, panda have actually the visualization capability, but we are not using here panda for visualization. Where we are using panda? See, we are using here, line number 25. Last time also we have used panda to read our data. So we have read our data into data frame. And what is data frame actually? I think this you have learned it in last year, last semester. What is data frame?
So it is a labeled data.
So it is something data in table format, correct? Data is it in table format. Okay, so we'll go through it. So first we are importing panda. So we will read our data in table format. NumPy for some calculation, for some scientific calculation. And then last class also we have used train test split, because we want to split data, so that some portion of the data we'll use for training, some portion of the data we'll use for testing. That's why we use train test split. Another is standard scaler. We want to scale our all features, and then some validation metric. So here we are going to use accuracy score and confusion. We'll also find our confusion, get our confusion matrix, and then we are also importing here model, which is nothing but the KNN classifier. So I have told you this KNN can be used for regression also. So you can, instead of KNN classifier, you can use K-never regressor if you are solving regression problem. And then if you want to have some plot, you can use plot. Okay. So matplotlib.pyplot, we are importing a PLT. So have you understood this? Line number 13 to 20, 19.
Yes, sir.
Very simple, huh? So we'll go and run line number 25 and see iris data. So first column is ID. There's nothing but the observation number. Okay, just it is running index. You can just think it is running index, nothing else. So second column is sepal length. Third column is sepal width. Then petal length, and then petal width in centimeter, and then species, whether it is setosa or whether it is vernicolor or iris versicolor, and another is also there, or iris virginica. Okay, so we have 4 features, and
Excuse me, sir.
corresponding to this feature we have
Excuse me.
species. Okay,
Excuse me, sir.
so data is simple. Yeah.
Sir, I need your help for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
This is not. Can you help me to run this program?
Okay.
I am sharing my screen. Is it visible, sir?
Yes.
This file is not here, sir.
No, you don't. You cancel it. Cancel it.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, cancel this. Yeah. Where you have saved this file?
Desktop, sir. Desktop.
Okay. Go to. Just a minute. Yeah. Go to projects. Go to projects.
Okay.
Yeah. Click it. You will get drop down menu.
Yes. New project, open project, close project.
Yeah. Open. You select open project.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Then.
Go to KNN case study.
Okay. Then.
Yeah, just no, don't open it. Go back. Yeah, just select this. Yes. No, KNN case history. That's all. Yes, select folder. Yes. Do this. Okay. Now you go to. Why this is coming actually? It's
Yes,
supposed
sir.
to KNN. Yeah.
Yes, sir. It is coming, sir. Now it is
Yeah.
coming.
Go
It is
to API.
it is taking some time. Then go to API.
And there is one folder. One file is there.
KNN case study.
Yes.
Yes. Now it is coming. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So if you want to open any Python project, better to go it through open project. Okay. Okay. So next is we want to understand how many different class we have it in our data set. So np.unique iris data, and then you have to give the column name. So it will give you in this column called species how many different classes present. So you can see there are 3 classes present in our species. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you can see these are a string actually. We cannot use this as it is. You have to transfer into numeric actually. So all string has to be transformed into numeric, because if you give it as a string, algorithm will not work. So you have to map this. So, but before that, there is unnecessary column we have already identified. This is just a running index ID. So you just drop this column called ID. So how do you drop? You just call this drop function and say ID, and x is equal to 1, which represent what it represents is column. Okay. So next is you have to change this Iris setosa, versicolor and virginica into numeric actually. So we have used what we are saying, that you just map this column called species. In this, whatever Iris setosa you map with 0, Iris versicolor map with 1, and Iris virginica you map with 2. Okay. Another way to do it, you can also use replace command. You can write it out. Okay, you can use replace command. Next, once you have converted your data into string into numeric, what you have to do is you have to get the feature and output as a list. Correct. So all feature column name.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, boss.
Sir, I have problem opening in the code, sir. And the file is not showing, sir, during opening the new project option.
What happened? You also shared your code. Can you share your screen? Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Shall I move? So what last time also, whatever we have done, same thing we are doing it now. First you have to create feature as a list. All whatever feature you have to create list of all features. So this is a smart way of calculating it. Okay, so what we are saying that you take all column and then subtract this species, then you will get the feature list. So we'll go and see what is the feature list is coming. Sepal length, petal width, sepal width and petal length. Okay. So now what we have to do, we have to prepare data for modeling. So before going for modeling, we have to split our data into train and test. So what we are doing in line number 46, we are collecting all values present in the column species. Similarly, we are collecting all values presenting in the feature space. So we are saying iris data, select all features and then get the values. That's all we are doing here. Line number 50, we are doing train test split. And why we are using random state equal to 0? Last time I have explained you cause of putting random state. You have to tell me.
To make the model reproducible.
Yeah, so we have to make model reproducible, and we can make model reproducible when we have the same data. Otherwise, if you change the data, your model will be changed. Correct? Your training will change and your testing will change. So your model will go and change it. So if you are consistent will be with data, then only you can have a consistent model. So here we are now using train test split. Once you have training data sets and testing data set separate out, what we have to use it, training data you have to scale it, and same object you have to use to transform training data set and test data set. Correct? Can anyone explain why I am using same scalar, same scaling factor to scale test data set? Can anyone explain this? Why I am using train scalar scaling factor to scale the test data also?
Because sir, the scaling should be same for the train and the test.
Yeah, because that is only used for model building. So that parameter only we have to use. Okay, let's say now test data is range is coming out of bound. What you will do? Let's say some of the feature, let's say range, when we were training data, it varies from some range. Now it is coming out of bound. Means new data set is coming out of bound. Let's say you have feature x1, range was 5 to 10, but now x1 test data set or future prediction, which are data set which you are going for future prediction, range is 20. X1 is coming at 20 actually. What you will do? Do
You
you
will
think
scale
your
it to
model
25.
will work?
No.
Hmm? So new data training data set have one range, test set have a different range. So do you think your model will work?
No, sir.
It will not work actually. The moment your scaling fail, model will not work. Then what you have to do is you have to retrain your model. You collect some more data, include it in, and then retrain your model. Okay, these are all practical aspects. So this happen actually. Let's say you are operating plant at one state. Now after 2 or 3 months, you find that your operating parameter has changed and things have changed and now operating at different level actually because of some reason. So model which is built on past data will not work actually because you have changed the state. So plant state has changed, that's why it will not work actually. So what you have to do, you have to reconsider modeling and do it. Otherwise you have to do some sorts of model update actually, but that also have problem actually. So if you find that if you scale some because of some reason your state change and the scale change, you have to retrain your model. Okay, so training data, test data, both you have scaled with standard scaler. And what are another scaler I have told you? This is standard scaler. What is other scaling method?
Min max.
So another is min max approach actually. Okay. So if you want to try it out with min max, you just change the scaler and see exactly if you use min max whether your performance will increase, decrease, what happen. You just play around it. So once you scaled it, you call your KNN classifier. So I'm saying that we have to do n neighbor search equal to 2, and then very easy actually, it's very easy building model in Python. So you have to fit, there are only, when you are building model, there are only 2 or 3 steps actually. You have to scale your data and then call fit. You have to then create a model object and then call object dot fit and train x and train y. That's all you have to do. Once you fit it, next is, once you fit this, next is to predict actually, because already you have model. Fit means it will go and do a training, and once you have the model, you predict it with the unseen data, which is our test x actually. And then we will create a confusion matrix based on test y and prediction and calculate what is the accuracy. Correct? And then we will print how much misclassification we had. Correct? Up to this, any doubt? If you have any doubt, let me know, because this will help you in project actually. So how many misclassification we have? 2 misclassification. Correct? You can also confirm this with your confusion matrix. See, diagonal tells what is the correct prediction. Off diagonal say how much misclassification you have. So 1, 1, 2. So total we have 2 misclassification. You can also see how much accuracy this model have now. So we have now 0.996 accuracy. So last class I have told you how to select K theoretically. Same thing we are doing now with programming. Correct? For illustration here I have selected n equal to 2. But you can ask, why did you select n equal to 2? No one knows actually. We have just started our modeling and said that n equal to 2. Okay. started with n equal to 2, and then we'll see how model accuracy will change when we change number of neighbors. So that only we have considered here as a hyperparameter tuning. You can use our earlier approach and see actually how we can do hyperparameter tuning when you have some more setting actually, like I have told you now, distance actually, that also you can consider as a hyperparameter. So there are multiple measurement of distance. One is Euclidean, another is like Manhattan distance. So there are multiple. So you just make it as a hyperparameter and see whether that have any impact on accuracy. Okay. So what I am going to do is, so I have just created a list called misclassified samples, that is empty list, and then what I am saying that we want to see how that accuracy will change when we change the n neighbor from 1 to 20. Correct. So every time, and then we will plot that. That's all we are doing it. Can you see this plot?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that is easy only. So KNN equal to, just you call this K classifier, n neighbor equal to I we have put. Okay, same thing we are doing, KNN fit train X test, and then we are using predict KNN dot predict, and then misclassified sample we are just every iteration we are just putting misclassified sample, and then X is nothing but your K values and Y will be your misclassified sample, and then just plot this. That's all we are doing here. And then we are giving a title, effect of K values on misclassification, and this. So what we can see is when K equal to 1 we have highest misclassification, that was 3, and when K equal to 2 we have misclassification equal to 2, and when K equal to 3 we have least misclassification 1. You can also find what is accuracy. All this parameter you can just try it out, find it out and see. So for this actually we can select K equal to 3. Okay, because you can see there up to 16 there is no improvement, and then it shoot up actually. So for this particular example you can choose K equal to 3. So you have to do iteratively, you have to build a, yeah.
Sir, when I am running this, it shows that, just 1 minute, the iris data.csv does not exist.
Where is your data then? Is it happening with all of you? Anyone able to run this?
No, yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
No issue.
No issue.
Okay. Okay, can you share your screen?
Yes.
So I think that's all actually. So this is the way we build model, classification model. Yeah, go. Just a minute. Data, desktop data iris, error file C user desktop / data / iris. So it says it does not exist. Can you go to data? It is there, no? Just a minute. Let me check.
Okay, sir.
See, your path is not correct actually. See this, just check your path, what it is saying. What it is saying. You are looking actually desktop inside data, but it has to be desktop KPI or KNN, it has to come like this, na? Somehow actually it goof up. See this, desktop KNN, it has to come. Okay, your path is not correct, so just check. That is easy actually, you can figure it out. If you figure it out, na, it will be helpful for you. If you are not able to do this, give full path of your data. Just
Okay, sir.
copy path from there and then give it here.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello. Sir, I have shared my screen, sir. I have problem regarding loading the code, sir.
Hmm. Tell me. Have you understood actually what I have taught you?
Hello.
Yes. But yes, I am listening you.
Sir, you told about opening the projects. So then after that, I am not getting the file, the respective file, sir. So how can I load that code?
Where is your file actually? Where is downloaded file? Where
It's
you
on
kept
desktop.
your? Hmm.
Desktop, sir. It's on desktop.
You show me where is that file. You go
Oh,
to desktop first and show me.
okay, sir. Oh,
You just unzip that now first. Unzip it.
okay, sir. Now, sir.
That's all. Yeah. Where is unzip folder? No, no. Unzip it and show me folder. Uh, Close this. No, no. You unzip it. No. Open with.
How to?
No, no. Extract. You have to extract it.
Okay, sir.
Extract. Yes. Close this.
Okay, sir. Now I can do, sir.
So you can do it now, na?
Yes, sir. Yes, I can do.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So have you understood this case study, KNN classification?
Yes, sir.
Any doubt how to develop a classification model? Hmm?
No,
Any
sir.
doubt? If you have doubt, you can ask. Still, we have 5 minutes. So,
Sir, hello, sir.
yes, yes.
Confusion matrix, I have doubt, sir. I didn't understand that confusion matrix.
So its name itself is confusion. So you didn't understand. So it confused you, na? So that is easy metric actually. Basically, I will go to again. So who have understood this confusion matrix? Anyone has understood confusion matrix, or no one has understood, and this guy only has told me? Can anyone explain what is confusion matrix?
Sir, confusion matrix consists 4 sets.
Yes, keep talking. Na?
Test true positive.
So first
True
of all, you have to tell actually what is it in column and what will be in row. So basically,
in
actual
column
value
actual value, and in a row predicted value.
correct. So this confusion matrix you have divided into 4 different sets actually. One is called true positive, true negative,
True
false
negative.
positive and false negative. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So true positive, first of all, whatever is it in your interest actually. Let's say you are interested to predict whether tomorrow will be rain or not. So yes always be in, you just keep yes always in your positive and no is in negative actually. Always you ask, is it, are you interested to classify two animal actually, cat and dog? Is it going to be, if you are interested to classify it as a dog only, just ask whether it's going to be a dog. So that is your true positive. Okay, so you just, because you have to divide your class into positive and negative. Okay, so one class of interest you put it as a positive and another will be negative actually. So there are two things actually. One is diagonal. So what is it in diagonal is TP and TN. So that teach correctly. So what true positive is, it is positive and you have predicted positive. And true negative is, it is negative and you have predicted negative only. So your correct prediction of your positive class, correct prediction of your negative class will be in diagonal. Okay, up to this have you understood? So
Yes.
diagonal contain your correct prediction of true class and correct prediction of your negative class. Okay, positive class and negative class. Yes, positive class you can put it yes, negative class you can put it no. Another is false positive actually. Okay, so what is false positive is, just see it is written F and P. So basically your prediction is yes, but it is exactly it is negative actually. No, actually is negative, but you have predicted yes. So basically you are interested to find whether it is going to be rain or not. So for tomorrow actually it is not going to be rain, but you have predicted yes, it is going to be rain actually. Understood? Is it confusing or what?
No, sir. I have understood, sir. Now it's
Okay,
clear.
very good. False negative is the actual value was positive and model predicted the negative values. Just opposite of this false positive. Once you have these two, na, that is easy to construct your recall and precision. Just see this example. This is very nice cartoon actually. This will say, you just try to understand this. You will understand actually what is false positive, what is false negative. Just try to understand this. And once you have this, you can calculate what is precision and what is recall actually. So when you go for precision, you have to see what is true positive divided by what is true positive plus false positive actually. So basically you have to go horizontally, and when you have go for recall, you have to go vertically. That is easy actually. And F score is harmonic mean of precision and recall. Do one thing, you just try to understand it. If you will not understand, again I will explain in next class. Okay, I will rephrase this. Try to have a look. I will share this PPT also with you people tomorrow. Okay, that will be fine.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
I will share this PPT along because we are going to have some sorts of test also very soon. So better you just go through all this PPT and case study. My test will be hands-on mostly, going to be hands-on. So it is like Kaggle competition. Who is going to have better accuracy will get better marks. So I am teaching you the I have taught you this simple example, but I am telling you I can give you something tougher than this. So better you try to understand the concept. If you understand the concept, then I think you can able to do it. Otherwise, it will be very difficult. It may be accuracy. Now you are saying accuracy 0.95. That time you will see accuracy less than 0.6, 0.7 actually. Okay. So better you try to understand all this. Try to learn coding and all. Otherwise you will not do anything in exam. So mostly exam will be model building, hands-on only, because my target is to teach you modeling. So if anyone give you data, you are able to make this model and all. Okay. So Thursday I will not take class, and then Thursday will no class, and then we have Holi on Monday. Okay. So next class will be on 1st March. Okay. Next class will be on 1st March. Meanwhile, I will try to give you some sorts of case study. You just try to solve it. Okay. I will send you some data. You just try to develop model out of it. Okay. Or you give your insight out of data. I will not tell you exactly what to do, but I will give you data. You tell me what you can think from the data. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, boss. Then happy Holi. Enjoy.
Happy holidays, sir.
Same to you. Enjoy. Then bye. Good night. Bye, boss. Good night.